बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम सुब्हानल्लाहि व बिहम्दिही सुब्हानल्लाहिल अज़ीम अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा सल्लैता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद अल्लाहुम्मा बारिक अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा बारकता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। जी स्टूडेंट्स, केमिस्ट्री ग्रेड 12 हम कर रहे हैं। टुडे वी हैव टू solve some questions. We have to do some questions which are very important. The first question: how P4O10 reacts with water and NaOH? P4O10, that is phosphoric pentoxide. Phosphoric pentoxide, because in this compound the oxidation state of P is +5, Reaction of P4O10 with water, reactions of P4O10 with water and base, that is NaOH. P4O10 reacts with water to produce a solution containing phosphoric acid. Now phosphoric acid reacts with the sodium hydroxide to produce sodium phosphate along with the water. Now listen carefully. Whenever the phosphoric pentoxide undergoes the chemical reaction, first of all it changes into phosphoric acid dissolving in water. It dissolves in water to produce phosphoric acid. Then the further reactions are based on the phosphoric acid. That's why here we have made first phosphoric acid, and then this phosphoric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide to produce sodium phosphate along with 6 molecules of water. Now combining these two reactions, first reaction this one, second reaction this one, on adding or combining these two reactions we get an overall reaction P4O10 plus 12 NaOH goes to form 4Na3PO4 plus 6H2O. This one is sodium phosphate. Another way of this reaction is when you get phosphoric acid, first of all one NaOH will react with this one. In second step 2 NaOH will react with this one. In third step 3 NaOH will react with H3PO4. The first product will be first product is NaH2PO4, second is NaHPO4, the third is Na3PO4. The overall product will be the same. Once again I want to tell you another way. NaOH1 will react with H3PO4. Second, 2 2NaOH will react with H3PO4. Number 3, 3NaOH will react with H3PO4. Chain process. Interior chemistry of this reaction. The first combination will produce NaH2PO4, second Na2HPO4, the third Na3PO4. The product will be same. Just I want to tell you, whenever H3PO4 will react, the end product is usually salt. Now next question, important, write structure of H3PO4. Structure of H3PO4, that is this one. Phosphorus belongs to the group 5 of the periodic table, so it has 5 electrons in its valence shell. 1 electron is utilized with this OH for bonding, another here, third one here, and 2 electrons of phosphorus are utilized in the formation of double covalent bond with this oxygen. So this is the structure of phosphoric acid. If you want to write this structure along with the lone pair of electrons, it is more better. It is more better to write the electrons, lone pairs. Now next question, what are oxides of the sulfur? How these oxides react with H2O and bases? Now oxides of sulfur represented as SOX. It means there are various or several oxides of the sulfur, out of which the 2 oxides are more important. One, that is SO2, and the other, that is SO3. SO2 and SO3 are important oxides of sulfur. Now their reactions with water and the bases. SO2 reacts with water to give H2SO3. This sulfurous acid solution. Here SO2 is slightly acidic and fairly soluble. Not slightly, more acidic. SO2 is a good acidic and fairly soluble in water. Now second reaction of SO2 with sodium hydroxide, you will get sodium sulfite, Na2SO3. This was sulfurous acid. Now this is the salt, sodium sulfite along with the water. The third reaction, SO2 plus CaO, calcium oxide, lime, goes to form calcium sulfite. Calcium sulfite. Now the reaction of the other important oxide of the sulfur, that is SO3. SO3, and then the reaction with water and the bases. SO3 reacts with water to produce sulfuric acid, that is fog and droplets. H2SO4 is in the form of fog and the droplets. The second one, SO3 plus 2NaOH aqueous, goes to form sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, along with 2 water molecules. You should remember the name of this compound, sodium sulfate. The third reaction of SO3 is with calcium oxide, which gives calcium sulfate, CaSO4, calcium sulfate. So these are the reactions of SO2 with water and bases. This question is more important, therefore I am placing here two times important. Why this one is 3 times important. Next question, what are important oxides of chlorine? How they react with water and bases? This one is again 3 times important. एक, दो और ये तीन, 3 times important. Placing 3 ticks. Important oxides of chlorine and their reactions with water and bases. Once again, there are several oxides of the chlorine, out of which Cl2O7 dichloroheptoxide having the oxidation state of Cl, that is the highest, plus 7, and Cl2O dichloromonoxide. Here the oxidation state of Cl is plus 1. Here oxidation state, that is plus 7. Therefore Cl2O7 is the compound having highest oxidation state, and here the low oxidation state. These are much important. That's why we have to discuss these two oxides. The reactions of Cl2O7 with water and bases. Cl2O7 reacts with water to produce 2HClO4. This 2HClO4 we have discussed, that is perchloric acid. Perchloric acid. When there is the addition of per, it means it is highly unstable. It is very strong acid. Now the second reaction of Cl2O7 is with NaOH, base. The product is NaClO4, that is sodium perchlorate, that is the salt. Sodium perchlorate along with water. Now second oxides of the chlorine is dichloromonoxide. Now its reaction with water and sodium hydroxide, Cl2O reacts with water reversible to produce 2HOCl, because this 2HOCl is a little bit unstable and goes back again into the reactants. Now that is hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid. Now Cl2O reacts with the base NaOH to produce sodium hypochlorite, NaOCl. NaOCl along with the water. Now quick quiz number 3. Quick quiz number 3. The A question. What is the nature of bonds in oxides formed sodium, magnesium, aluminum and sulfur react with excess oxygen? With excess oxygen. Answer: sodium, magnesium and aluminum form ionic oxides. They exist as ionic crystalline structure where sulfur forms SO2 and SO3. These are the oxides of sulfur, and they have the covalent bonding in them. Covalent bonding in them. Now next question, again 3 times important, 2 to 3 times important. So I am placing here 3 ticks, A, 1, 2 and A, 3. Briefly describe the electrical conductivity of the chlorides of the elements of period 3. Electrical conductivity. Now electrical conductivity. Sodium and magnesium conduct electricity, but only when they are present in their molten state. because when these ionic compounds are changed into the liquid state, their ions become free to move. So, sodium and magnesium conduct electricity only in their molten state due to mobile ions during the electrolysis. In aluminium chloride and phosphorus pentachloride cases, the solid does not conduct electricity. Solid because there are no free electrons or mobile ions in their solid state, as well as they do not conduct the electricity when they are present in their molten or liquid state. Whether they are in solid form or they are present in the form of liquid, there are no mobile electrons, there are no ions free to move. That's why aluminium chloride and phosphorus pentachloride, they never conduct electricity. Sometimes you will see the words written poorly conductor, very poor conductivity. But here I am telling you, do not conduct. They don't conduct the electricity. Once again, in aluminium chloride and phosphorus chloride cases, the solid does not conduct electricity because ions are not free to move. In liquid state, they have converted into covalent bond formations, and so do not conduct either. Both of these sublime at the ordinary pressure. It means aluminium chloride and phosphorus pentachloride, whether they are solid or they are liquid, do not conduct electric current or electricity. The reason is this: they have no free ions, they have no free electrons, therefore the conductivity is impossible. Now both of these undergo sublimation at ordinary pressure. Whether they are changing into liquid, they usually sublime. That's why at high pressure we will have to maintain. The rest of the chlorides do not conduct electricity, either solid or molten, because they do not have free electrons or mobile ions. That is silicon tetrachloride, phosphorus trichloride, and sulfur S2Cl2 disulfur dichloride. They do not conduct electric current because they have no free electrons or free ions. Now next question, again important. Briefly describe the features of MgCl. This is 3 times important. 1, 2 and 3. Briefly describe the important features of the MgCl2, magnesium chloride. Answer: magnesium chloride is ionic because Mg plus 2 ions and Cl minus 1 ion. It has complicated arrangement of the ions. These positive and negative ions have complicated arrangement, and the ratio of combining ion is 1:2. Where there is 1 magnesium, there will be 2 Cl negative. Melting points and boiling points are high due to strong attractions between the ions. The attractions are very strong, therefore a lot of heat energy is required to overcome the attraction. That's why their melting and boiling point are very high. Now magnesium chloride dissolves in water to give faintly acidic solution with pH approximate equal to 6, or sometime you will find it 6.5. When magnesium ions are broken off the solid's lattice and go into the solution, there is enough attraction between 2 positive ions, that is magnesium, and water molecules to get coordinate in additive covalent bonds formed between magnesium and the lone pair of the water.